Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. One thing I've noticed over the years is that when it comes to Gongfu tea brewing, many tea lovers spend a lot of time thinking of water temperature, tea leaf and water ratio, and brewing time. And of course, those things absolutely matter. But today, I'd like to share with you two Gongfu tea brewing techniques that don't get talked about. They're simple and easy to overlook, and yet I think they can make a surprisingly big difference, not just to how your tea tastes, but to how consistently you bring out the best in it. This video is for advanced tea lovers who are looking for improve their brewing skills and to perfect their sip. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you that the quality of the tea, brewing time, and water to leaf ratio are the top 3 factors that affect the taste of the tea. First, let's talk about the height of tea pouring. When we pour the tea out of the Gaiwan, how high should it be? Full confession, when I'm doing photos or videos for social media, I really enjoy to pour it high to see the liquor agitated and the bubbles floating around in the liquor. I think it looks stunning. However, this is not suggested for the best taste of the tea. Whenever we're pouring tea liquor, we should keep it as low as possible because we want to maintain the most aroma components of tea in the tea liquor. These volatile substances can escape when we pour it very high and when the liquor is agitated. By keeping it low, we reduce the escape of those volatile substances so that we can enjoy the most of what the tea has to offer. Another detail in Gongfu tea brewing is how much water are you keeping in your Gaiwan or teapot between infusions. What? You keep some waters in the Gaiwan? Yes, sometimes. Usually, when we brew in Gongfu tea style, we fully empty the brewing vessel, Gaiwan or teapot. But when brewing green tea or yellow tea, I would suggest you to leave a little bit of the previous infusion in the Gaiwan for your next infusion. Usually we suggest these 2 ways to enjoy green tea or yellow tea. They're considered the best way to brew these 2 types of tea. However, I totally understand that sometimes we just would love to brew green tea in Gongfu tea style, and there's nothing wrong with it. But to get the consistency among different infusions, I suggest you to use the basic rules of traditional green tea brewing in the Gongfu tea style. Therefore, when we empty the Gaiwan, we save a little bit of the liquor for the next infusion. By doing this, there's a noticeable improvement in terms of consistency between each infusions. Even though we all know that we're supposed to empty the Gaiwan fully, when I observe people doing this, it's not rare to see there's still some liquor left in Gaiwan, even though it is fully empty. If the next infusion has more disproportional bitterness or astringency, that could be the hint for this issue. The liquor that is left in the Gaiwan, especially in early infusions, will become very, very strong. This would affect the taste of the later infusions. Some of us know that we need to empty the Gaiwan thoroughly. So sometimes I see this vigorous shake at the end of the infusion. When we shake the Gaiwan hard, the leaves in the Gaiwan are also hitting each other harder, releasing more substance in the liquor, especially in early infusions. This would make the liquor more strong, more bitter, and more astringent. So the better way to do it is to calmly wait till liquor slows down dripping, and at the very end, give it a gentle shake. No more than 3 times is suggested by Zhen to fully empty the liquor while minimize the shake. I hope this is helpful. Give these techniques a try and let me know your feedback in the comment below. If this video make you feel like, oh my god, there's so much I have to watch out when brewing tea, or you feel a little bit timid of tea brewing, so forget about it. Just relax and enjoy your sip. Remember, the best way to brew tea is your way. Relax and enjoy your sip of tea. Until next time, keep steeping.